Oh my gosh, thank you guys. I love it. I love it. Stay on me because I'm kidding. Y'all know. Because it's not about that for me. It really isn't. I'm telling you guys.
Mhm.
But yeah, like you were saying, it's just that the part that is amazing is the like you can smile and trade. Like everybody's not all tensed up and I know like we're in different types of accounts, demo, prop, whatever, but still, just knowing that we've simplified it to a point, because I never meant to teach trading in the 30-day challenge. Please know that. That has never been the intent. It was to show you what can be done in 30 days. That's what it was. That's the intent of it, to show you what, these tools that are available and what can be done and what you can do. Mostly it's about challenging yourself. And so I'm just loving it because like I've known Nina even outside of this challenge. And it's so funny because I would always tell her, no, you got this, Nina. You got it. You just gotta have some confidence in your like I already know you got the skill, you got this. And to see you just like ready to take off, and because she'd be like, well, I think maybe and her charts were like these amazing chart markups that she would, have all this analysis on. So she had it. And she'd be like, well, maybe I think I might take a trade. And now she's just like, okay, so I'm about to do this and I'm about to do, okay, okay. She's like setting her stuff together. And I just want to say that is amazing, Nina. I am so proud of your
Thank
growth.
you.
So yeah. And then we
Yeah.
see Yvonne, she's eating right now, but it's okay. She's taking her own trade. She was telling me she took a trade on her own. And so like all of that is big deal, especially like people that are hesitant, like, oh, I'm not really sure, just having that confidence, like I got it, I got it enough to be willing to say, okay, I could take this trade and to know like, okay, well, I can just get out or I have the hedge or I have whatever tool. I have another tool just in case. So you get rid of that fear. And so I just love it. I love it, you guys. You don't know. It like, man, it warms my heart. Like, really, that's the point. So,
Yes, if I could just say, I was gonna
yeah.
say, because maybe people don't know, but my husband is a Forex trader and an educator, and I'm even educated with him. But and so I studied the same information.
I was his student, ma'am. Nah, I didn't educate. I
I
was
didn't
his student.
wanna,
I was his
I didn't wanna.
student. I was not an educator with him. I'm gonna give him all his props. No,
Okay, he'll
I
be
was
happy to hear that. Yes, yes, he was her teacher, her sensei.
his student. Yes.
And so I've learned a lot of it from studying together and then him teaching me. And I've gone to the chart several times with different strategies. He has a great strategy too. But for me, I think we think differently, and I think you and I, Denise, think very alike in that I'm like, just tell me what to do and I'll do it. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. So it's nice to now add that to the analysis portion because you put everything down. So then it's like, oh, let me see what this major trend cloud is like. Let me see. So with all those things, it's all in one place. And so with the hedge of protection, because again, then that like with my faith in God is like just speaking my language. So all of it just culminates for me to this perfect time. And even, we're starting, we're planning to start a family and things. And so I have to, yeah, thank you. No, nothing yet, but the
No,
planning
no.
is in, it's planning
It's
stage.
poodle. We still have poodle.
Yeah, yeah. And we saw this doodle over here we have to pay for. So I've been praying to God about like really elevating my trading. So I have something functional as mom to do wherever, whenever to supplement my acting career. So I just really wanted to thank you because you were right on time. And ironically enough, the only reason my husband reached out to Denise was because he was having challenges on his program that we've been waiting for his thing. And I was like, look at God. He's able to use something that feels like a delay to accelerate us so that we're both on the same page now. Like that's only God, because it can be so frustrating when you're working on something with programming and stuff and it's delayed. But that was the only reason I happened to walk in on your guys' meeting, and then it was perfect timing. So I'm just so grateful for you and just had to testify.
Thank you. Thank you. And her husband is an amazing instructor, but we all know, like, because I tried to teach my husband. Yeah, no, it didn't work. It did. He literally tells me all he sees is lines and colors. And I started learning to code just because, like, I was like, I don't want to draw these boxes and lines. I'm tired of these boxes and lines, and because I would get down to like the 15 seconds, the 5 seconds, and it actually was your husband's strategy that got me to looking at the lower time frames like that. And so I was like, I can't draw all these boxes and lines in 15. No, this is not working. And that's how I started really learning how to code indicators. And I just picked it up really quickly. And then it turned to, I'm gonna try to do this to try to get my husband involved, because he was like, okay, I need something where I could just push the button, literally. And so then when I created my first one, he was like, oh yeah, no, it's too much stuff on there. Like, it's too much stuff. I can't. So that's been my part of my journey. And it's amazing how our spouses add to, and sometimes we're not the person to necessarily teach or teach our spouse, because again, we may think differently, whatever that
Probably
may
together
be.
because you're opposite in some ways. So you're not probably going to learn the same way
Yeah.
either.
Yeah, so that's cool. And I just love how the Lord puts people in place. Like, he'll send the person for, that person or whatever. And again, that was also the reason for the flexibility in the tool. I wanted to make sure that different people see different things from it. And what I may see out of it and what may resonate with me may not resonate with you. And so I wanted something that could cater to multiple, people, or multiple people with multiple visions. And so that was the thing. But the reason so much of it is based around the trend, if you notice, a lot of everything in the tool is based around the trend, is because it generally has to be in the trend to make money. Just so you guys know, that's why. So, all right. Oh, you Lord, Joy, did you have a question?
Nope, I do got a question for later though.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
No, we're about to start. So question.
just learning this, because they all, Howard and Nina, they know I don't like the lower time frame. I'm like,
Okay.
no, I'm like anal about it. Look, and stuff. So being down here on the lower time frame is like eye opening. But I have to take my chart and see, where did they get in? Way down here. This two little candles did all of that. It just kind of
Mhm.
like, it kind of blow me away a little bit. So,
Yeah.
but it's got me
I'm
not looking at my charts at all no more. I just do this.
I
Then
don't want you guys to not do that, because I'm telling you, like, you guys, if you guys think that this is you think I scalp amazingly, wait till you see me position trade. That's all I can say. Because the position trade is like, literally, the scalping is me actively, the scalping brings in the emotional, the trading psychology comes back with scalping, remember. So with me, I have to make sure that I'm keeping that in check at all times, right? I have to make sure that my mind is right. I'm not mad, I'm not, I'm thinking properly. I'm not being greedy. All of those things come into play when I'm scalping, right? So if I'm not aligned properly, is what I call it. If I'm not aligned, because I like my spirit to be in right alignment. If my spirit is not in right alignment, then my trades are generally not as good. I'm not saying I don't win. I'm just saying they're not as good, right? So imagine if if I just get to go off of skill and take all of that emotion out, how much better your trades are going to be. And that's the difference between my position trading and my scalping. And so, yeah, like, if you guys continue on with me, like, the position, I don't talk about it as much because we don't have time to see the results of it, in a class. So that's why I be show me the money. Like, I'm a show me the money kind of person. So that's why I do scalping, because I can show you really quickly that, yeah, you may not want to wait for my 4 points and all of the stuff that we wait for to get into a trade. But I bet you when we get in that trade after them 4 points, we make our money every time. It's like, drop the mic. That's how I feel about it. Like, you don't have to. You can get in and go back and forth if you want to, but yeah, if you follow what I say every time, I don't want to, I'm not the type that 100% guarantee. I'm not trying to do that. I'm simply saying we're only getting in at the best trades. We're not, we can get in at some, 80% trades, some 50% trades. Yeah, but that's not what we do. We getting in at a trade that we know we've gotten a lot of confluences to let us know that, hey, yeah, it's time to go. So yeah, that's scalping. Now imagine that same strategy, but in a long-term trade. Awesome. It's amazing. So can't wait. Hope to see you guys and continue on with me. But if not, it's been great fun. And I hope this helps you guys, because that's what's the most important thing about it. So let's see. I'm trying to see who you had a question, Joy?
Janet, I just want to make a comment.
Janet, I'm sorry.
You say, I hope you guys continue. And I'm going, you showing us the money. So when I make the money, I can continue on with you.
You know what? That was really how how it was given to me, the reason to do the challenge and to invest the money that I've invested in, everything from marketing, everything is show them the money, like show them, let them make some money. And then it won't be a big deal, because once they make the money, they're like, oh, well, I can get this back in a trade, or I can get, because that's how I used to look at when I was joined up with different groups. If you can show me how to get the money, I don't have a problem with paying, because I'm gonna pay for it out of the money I make from the trade, but show me how to make the money. But one of the things that was difficult for me was, like, I want you guys to follow along with me, but I also want you guys to be able to do this when I'm not sitting next to you. And that's where we're really going to start working on the trading plan. So, that'll be like, today I'm going to talk about some beginner stuff, but, I kind of gear the classes towards the people, and the beginners are not really here. And I don't have any beginner questions. So that's what throws me every time. I'm just going to tell you guys. So we end up talking about advanced topics in the beginner class. But the really what Nina was talking about this morning in the trade, the community trade, the daily bread trade, was what we really need to talk about this week is creating that trading plan for you, figuring out how am I going to trade, what, each time. Because when you have, it's just like, for instance, if you open a business, I'm sorry, you guys, I have to let this guy in at the gate just a moment. I'm letting you in now. Okay. Sorry about that, you guys. I forgot, I'm getting my bathroom redone. I apologize. So, and I have to put his name at the gate, but yeah. So basically, what Nina was talking about today is very, very important. And we need to start looking at that. Like I said, I do have a worksheet that you guys can use, but it is literally up to you. I have, on that, I have some questions that you want to look at to determine, different things, so that you don't forget, like, what time am I going to trade? What pairs am I going to trade? Am I going to be scalping intraday or swing trading? Things like that. You're going to look at all of those things in this worksheet. And I keep saying I'll upload it to the hub. And I may have it on my desktop and we can look at it, but it's really something that you want to do individually, and you want to do it for each account type. So you want to, like, for instance, if I have 3 accounts and I have an account that is maybe with Apex that has a trailing drawdown, and I have another account with Apex that is a fixed drawdown, and then I have an account with PlexiTrade that is a gold account, and then I have an account with PlexiTrade that is a micro account. You have 4 different account types. There are 4 different types, there's multiple strategies within each of those accounts that you are able to do effectively. And so you want to look at it by account type. as well as the strategies within each of those accounts. Because for instance, you can't do the daily bread on an Apex with a trailing drawdown, but you could do the daily bread with, you know, the Plexi, both of the Plexi trade accounts. So you want to look at it from that level and then go into the strategy. So start with accounts, then go into the strategies, you know, and start, you know, continuing down looking at your strategies. So you'll say, and then you'll have a time, like I'm going to do this plan at this time. I'm going to do this plan at this time. And so you'll have kind of what Nina was doing, but she was trying to do them all at once, having them on different screens. You could do that too. Hey, if you got you talented like that and can, you know, have different, you know, different things going on at once and it not confuse you, that's great as well. Or use a trade manager tool to do it for you. All of that are things that you need to consider, because that's going to help you to get your plan together. I was going to go through on here just some basic stuff about entering a trade, exiting a trade, kind of for Antoinette, who is literally a beginner. And she's never placed a trade. And so I was going to go through some things for her, but I'll probably just do a video for her, just for her. Because nobody here that I see on here, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that level. Please correct me. No, everybody's past that, I'm assuming. So is there anything, so I'm going to do a private video for her, but is there anything that anybody here wants to talk about that they, you know, that has to do with strategies, has to do with any of the trades we're doing, or want to practice something? Because the market is moving kind of good today. If there's anything, oh, you have a beginner question. I'm sorry. No, you don't have to wait to the end, Joy. It's fine.
You know what? I had a micro account open when we first started with the $500, but as I was looking at it, I would rather do a gold. So I tried to open up a gold one, and it's been loading like for a long time.
Click the
I
refresh.
deleted the micro, and I don't know, I started deleting stuff. So I have the I have the gold there, but it's like it's loading, and it's been loading for a good little while.
Did you refresh? Come, let me.
Yep, I refreshed. I came
I'm
out.
gonna let you
went back in.
Okay. Let me just make sure. Share you if you can share your screen, I'll get you squared away. And really quickly. I'm telling you, I have had to be. Allow me, I request a remote. Allow me remote control. Okay.
I called it my daily bread too.
Did
But I didn't have to take the other account off, right?
No, you don't have to.
Well, I took it off anyway.
It's
so.
okay. That's just good for you. It's
Oh
still
no, I
good.
didn't. It's back. It's back.
Don't worry about it.
I want that one to stay.
There you go.
Is that what you do?
I just refreshed it. I told you, you just have to
I
refresh
refreshed it. I even came out of it and went back in.
it.
Okay.
Just, you know how that go. You take the car to the mechanic, it don't work until you know that it's that whole thing. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Got it now?
Yes.
Okay, so you can take your screen back. Okay.
So when I do it, if I add an account on there and it starts to say
don't have to
created
delete
account,
it. Yeah.
I just wait and then refresh, or just refresh.
Yeah, just wait and refresh. That's the only thing, like, because it does, what it's doing is it's connecting with the with your server to make sure that and if you want to delete that what was the name of the account you wanted to delete? I didn't see it.
It said Plexi Trade Server 1. I don't know. I put that was my name.
Oh, that's what you named it? Okay. Yeah. All right. So I'll delete it for you. I'll delete that one for you.
Okay.
I hope I'm deleting it right.
Oh, and another thing, with a $500 account, I mean, trading ass, really? Should I? What?
That's one of the things that you'll have to determine. You'll have to determine that for yourself. Like, if you want to trade it, how that's going to work is it's going to allow you to trade it only allows you to trade the lot size of 5. So remember, whatever you're trading in the daily bread is going to be times 3. So whatever your lot size is times 3. So you have to keep that in mind. And so what I would suggest, and the reason, just know the reason for you guys doing a demo account at $500 for me, is because you want to know, okay, once I finish with this demo, right, and I'm good and I'm used to working this and I done grew this demo account, I done did all of that. Now I'm ready to put some live money into the market. And I believe that I can put $500 with no problem if that's the case. The reason I said for the challenge $500, because that is the least that you could trade for an indices, and we trade indices. You know, if you were trading pairs, you could trade a $500 account and it would be no big deal. Because remember, one of the things that I was showing Yvonne was, think of whatever that number is, for instance, and let me share my screen. Remember, whatever that number is for, oops, wrong thing, I keep hitting that button. Whatever this number is, so if this number is at 19,500, think of that like that's the cost of it. So if you have a $500 account, even with a 2,000, you know, like the micro accounts give you a 2,000, I believe, 2,000 leverage. So think about it. It's 2,000 times $500. So you have like $1 million, so to speak, to play with, right? That's how you have to look at it, right? Because it's giving you a 2,000 to 1 leverage. So you can only do so many $19,000, you know, 19,000 at a time before you get a margin call. So you have to think of it like that. So if you divide this, I'm just going to round it up to 20,000, right? It's 50 that you would get that would be 100% margin, right? It would be 50, right? And let me see, did I do that right? Yeah, I did. It'd be 50. And it's really because you really, and then I'm not going to explain why, but then you got to divide that by 10. So then you got to divide that 50 by 10. So it's really only 5. So your if you do what that's saying in a micro account, if you put in a lot size of 5, right, you're going to be at margin call automatically. So you could never do a lot size of 5. So if you were in the daily bread and you went in at a 1, it's going to put you at margin call already, because they usually don't do 100%. They're usually like at 70 or 50. Everybody's different. I haven't looked to see what PlexiTrade margin calls you at. I believe it's 50%, but I'm not really sure on that. So you got to go down even smaller than that when you're trading, this. And so you're probably going to have to go in on a $500 account to trade an indice to be safe. And I'm sorry, I said 10. It's actually 100. I'm sorry. My bad, you guys. But it's what I'm basically saying is it's going to be very small if you trade an indice. So if you want to have a $500 account, I would recommend you trade pairs, currency pairs with that account, because if you trade a currency pair, let me see, do I have any here? And you can see I don't trade currency pairs because I don't even have any on my watch list. But but if you trade currency pair, like let's say GBP, USD, right? It's $1.31. Just think of it like that for me. $1.31 versus 19,000 in NAS. And that's the easiest way to kind of get you guys to see the difference. So the smaller account can cover this. And don't think that like you can't make money on currency pairs, because you can just as well. It just, your lot size changes. So instead of you doing like a 0.1 or a 0.5, you'll actually be able to do, you know, because micro only lets you trade 5. So you'll be able to do your whole 5 lot size. That's the difference. And so I'm just going to try to show you guys really quick with the trade manager what a a 5 lot size would be, I'm gonna show you in the trade manager, not the daily bread, just sort of execute the trade right away. But so this isn't my micro account. I have a micro account. Which one? This one is my micro account. So I have a micro account here, and see my balance and my equity is different. So I refreshed it. But so just say I get a pair. I'm just going to do any pair right now. And remember, in your micro account, you have to do the ones that say pro, .pro, if it's a currency pair. Remember that when if you're in a micro account, you can only trade the ones that say .pro that are currency pairs. You can still trade gold and all of those other things, but the ones that are currency pairs have to be the ones that say .pro. So I'm going to find GBP because it moves kind of faster. So I'm going to do GU, right? And what was it just doing? Was it buying or selling? I just saw it. GBP, it's selling, it looks like. Okay. So I'm going to put in a sell really quickly just to show you guys. If I do a 5, because that's the max that I can do as a micro, and I want to show you the amount of money that you can make and your leverage. I'm going to show you that. So, oh, wait a minute. Oh, it didn't let me see. Okay, so that's too big. So it's not letting me. So I think it's a 0.5. Because, oh yeah, because I'm in pips. I'm in points instead of pips, I think. So what the heck? Oh, I know why. Sorry, you guys. I did the very thing that I told you guys that we can't do. You have to use the pro account. I use the regular account. I have to use the pro account. That's where I messed up. Sorry about that. All right. So I want to show you guys what happens. Yeah, you can do a 5. So 5 lots were opened, right? And I want to show you this, that you can make the same amount. As you can see, my leverage, my margin level is 15,000. So I still have plenty of room to trade, right? I still have plenty of room. But look, I'm still able to make money because for every move in price, right? And that move in price is denoted by that last number, so every move in price, I'm making money. So these moves are smaller, right? Because it's to the like 1, 2, 3, 100,000%, but I'm able to make money. Oh, I'm tripping. I'm not on the right chart, but I'm like, why this is going, I'm making money, but it's going up.
I had to look at that too. Like, wait
I
a minute.
was like, what the heck? I was tripping. Okay. I'm like, wait a minute.
I was saying, where the lines at?
Sorry, you guys. So, but you can see like how small this movement is, but I've already made $80, but my margin level is good. So it's good to trade pairs, you guys. I don't want you guys to think that just because I don't trade, it's good to trade pairs. Definitely, you still can make good money the same way, and you don't use as much leverage in your account because but you just have to find pairs that move that are more volatile. So that's why I say, and I'm going to actually try, and I think it was some news. I think GBP has news this week. I'm going to try and do a video maybe with GBP moving and doing the daily bread or the trade manager. But yeah, see, you're not leveraged. Now watch, I'm gonna do the same trade. I'm gonna do a trade, but I'm gonna do it with NAS or with NAS, right? So this is US Tech. US Tech. So I'm gonna do it with US Tech, and I'm gonna have to take my lot size way down, right? Let me show you what I mean. So that was opened. Now, oh, well, I didn't have to take it that low. Let me see. Okay, 0.5. But look, I did 0.5, right, of NAS. I'm making pretty much less per, oh, and I'm not in NAS, so I'm making you know, around the same, but look at my margin level. It's 535. I had like 16,000 of the other one, and I'm making about the same amount of money. So I don't have it. I have more risk of a margin call here than I did in the other one. I could have put in more trades with the other one and made more money than NASDAQ. So you see what I mean when I'm saying it matters what account, you know, everything matters. The account you're trading, the brokerage, your leverage, all of that needs to be taken into account because, you know, it's what's going to make the difference. I'm going to close out of this so I don't lose any more money, but you have to look at all of that. So you know, I did a 0.5 in trading US tech or NASDAQ, made about the same amount of money, but I was closer to margin call. You know, I wasn't, you know, close, but I'm saying I had less margin left over in the trade. So where I could put in, you know, I probably could have put in 2 NASDAQ trades. I probably could have put in 5 GU trades. You see, 5 positions, you know, so that's where your difference comes in with how, you know, when you look at how am I trading, putting my trading plan together. So it's not a bad thing to trade pairs. I just haven't traded pairs. And so I don't teach something that I don't do, right? That's the reason why. But the concepts, the strategies, all of them are the same. It's just I'm not familiar with the GU pair or in, you know, of currency pairs. So that's what I don't promote them to you guys as far as, because I don't know about them, but I know my strategy, and my strategy works across the board because I've tested my strategy on currency pairs. So that's how that works. So again, one of the things that I teach in my courses, you want to get 2 to 5 pairs, whether they're currency pairs, futures, contracts, or indices, and you want to get familiar with those pairs, and those are the ones you trade. So everybody understand that concept? Yeah.
Indeed.
Okay. All right. And I know you guys are advanced, so we're advanced. Again, I'm going to ask you guys, is there anything that you guys want me to talk about? Go ahead, Howard. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I get it. I understand leverage and margin. I just want to make sure that everybody, understand how you explained it. As far as, indices and everything, just want to make sure that everybody understands leverage, margin, and by itself, and how that works and how that functions.
You want to explain it, or you want me to explain it?
No, I'm asking a question for the.
Oh.
No, I can explain it, but I want to add, this is a beginner class, so I'm asking sort of like beginner questions so that it could be.
No, I understand. So I can put it on the video.
Yeah. So yeah, because
okay.
like
Do you want me to explain it, or do you want to explain it? That's my question back to you.
I mean, you can explain it.
Because it don't have to always be me. I'm always a student as well.
So am I. So no, go ahead. You got it. You got it.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna pull up and just to explain leverage.
And I'm how it pertains to margin.
Yes. So I'm gonna pull up MT4 because it shows you your balance, your equity, and your free margin. So remember, I told you, depending upon what your account stipulates. In this particular account, I believe I have a 2,000 to 1 margin that is offered by PlexiTrade on micro accounts. So what that means is, and I kind of showed you guys on here, is the leverage is the money that the broker is loaning to you or allowing you to use in order to place your trade. So remember, if I have only $5,215 and NAS costs $19,000, right? NAS costs $19,000, then I don't have enough money to trade NAS. So what they do is they give us leverage, or they give us credit, or whatever you want to call it, but it's called, the technical term is leverage. So if you, whatever that number is, 500, 230, 2,000, you're going to multiply your account balance, which is, so mine right now is 5215.97 times that leverage amount. That leverage for this account is $2,000, right? Not dollars, 2,000. So that means that I have available to trade $10,431 and $10,431,940 units. I don't want to say dollars, but I'm only saying dollars because of NAS being put in dollars, but units, right? And when we trade in $100,000 units equals one lot, right? So I'm going to automatically divide this by 100,000, right? Right. So 104.3194, right? Now, that I should have did, but anyway, so then you're going to look at how much does NAS cost, right? How much does NAS cost? NAS costs $19,591,525, and it's moving, and some change to trade, right? So you trade those in 10,000 units, and so I'm going to multiply that by 10,000, right? So that leaves me with $1 million, 1,043,194. So now I'm going to divide that by 19, just say, I'm going to do it by 20,000 just to make it even, right? And we come up with 52, right? Remember, each time we trade, we're trading $10. Each unit, each movement is $10. So I'm going to divide that by 10. So the max that I could trade on NAS would be 5.2, and I would be at 100% of my leverage. Well, we don't trade at 100% of our leverage. We like to be 2 to 3%. 200. Well, for me, 300 or above for new students. You can get down as low as 250 for, intermediate students, but I have gotten down to 200. So if you want to be at 300% leverage, you're going to divide this by 3. That is the maximum lot size that you should get in for any trade on this account. That's what you want to go by. Give me 1 minute, you guys, really quickly. I got my, this guys at my door to get in to do my bathroom. So just a moment.
Nina, when you did your 3 different devices today to try the Daily Bread at the same time, I think, right, on like at least 3 different things, was it for different accounts or for to try the same account but different symbols?
Same account, different symbols.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sorry about that, you guys. I got so much going on, and my camera followed me, of course. Let me take that off of it. Always following me. Let me see, where am I at? All right. Okay. So, where was I at? Here. Okay. So basically, my calculations. So basically, that's how you want to get. And so how it relates to margin, so is what I call, the margin call. So what that means is, when a person, they gave you this money, right? Well, they're only going to take so much risk with you. So, with your trades, because, if you're in the live market, they have to give up that money. They're just a middleman. So, but if you're on their system, we know about brokers. So we know some brokers are in the live market, some brokers are not. You're just trading against the house, just like a casino, so to speak. So if it's a broker that you're trading against the house, then when you win, they have to pay you. And when you win, when you lose, that you pay them. So, but they're only going to take so much risk with this money that they gave you, this 2,000 to 1 or whatever the leverage is. So if you get too close to where they can't get their money, they do what's called a margin call, which means that when you start dropping below 100% of your margin, they will call your account or exit you automatically out of the trade. And so I talked about staying above 100, being at 250 to 300 or even above. We saw in the other account, when I entered the trade, I was still at like 1,600%. So we were still, that's a really good, good margin percent, of course. Now, a lot of people teach different things, and the differences in the margin is based off of your strategy. Well, because I have a hedge of protection, I have lower recommendations for my margin. Other educators will teach that you want your margin to be above 1,000%. Well, that's because they don't have the hedge of protection. Again, everything is based off of your strategy. Everything is your strategy, your plan, your trading plan, what you're going to do, how you're going to enter, how you're going to exit. So including your margin, you want to keep your margin at a certain percentage. When I teach the hedge strategy, I have you keep your margin at a certain percentage so that you can put in the extra trade. So that's why I tell people to stay above 300. Because you have the ability to put in that third trade when it comes time. You have to have enough margin to do that. So things like that. So I just want you guys to know what leverage and margin is. It's very important to your account, and you have to pay attention to that as well. So again, one of the things that the trade manager does is allows you to scale into your position. So you can start with a lower lot size, and as you go into profit, you can add positions, and that'll keep your margin at an intact or at a good level. Joy, you have a question.
When I hedge on MT4, that margin disappears. Everything disappears. Just be nothing.
Because you evened up. So when you stop the bleeding, you start all over with your margin. That's the purpose of the hedge.
Yeah, I like to see that though. I say I like to see that. It's like I'm free.
Yeah, that's to stop the bleeding. I'm telling you, God is good. That's to stop the bleeding. You stop the bleeding, your head, so your margin starts all over again. So now what you're able to put in a new trade. So what she's talking about, you guys, and I'm gonna just do it in here so that we can see it manually. So I'm gonna put in a 0.5, right, on US Tech. So I'm gonna do it's selling. It's selling. I'm gonna do a buy so we can see it go into a loss. Because I don't, and then I'm gonna show you. So, right. So what she's saying, this margin, see, I put in a 0.5, it's at 500%, right? This is your margin level. And I'm losing margin because I'm going into loss. The more I go into loss, it's dropping. Well, can you give me a minute? Dang. Okay, well, I gotta wait because now I'm winning. Okay. So your margin is increasing a little bit because I'm profiting, right? So that's how it affects. I was trying to lose and show you guys what, okay. I don't want to lose. Let me not put that in the air. But I was trying to make an example here. Okay. Okay, you're not cooperating. And I'm glad that you're not. Let's see. Well, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put a sell in anyway. So I'm in profit here, but watch when I put a sell in at the same amount. So I have 0.5 volume is your lot size. So if I put in a sell at 0.5, right now, wait a minute, did I do? You see your margin level, it stopped moving and it's 1,000%, right? It stopped moving. That's where your margin stayed at. And Oh, the sale want to go into profit now. Okay. So, but you also see that the bleeding has stopped here, right? So, I mean, I was in profit, so it doesn't really show, but it's not moving, meaning I'm not losing money, I'm not winning money, I'm not earning money, I'm not doing either, right? So that's what I mean. Normally you would do this when you're in a loss and it would stop the bleeding, right? So that's what I want to show you. So she's saying that your margin, you stop losing your margin. Now watch when I put another buy-in at that same amount. And what I mean is when I said you want to have enough margin left over to be able to enter that third trade, that's what I mean. So that third, now you see you're at 300. Now remember when we first put the trade in, we were at 500 and something percent. So now it dropped us down to 362%. So that's why I say you have to have enough margin left over. So if you're trading at, you know, with your first trade at, you know, 150%, you won't necessarily have room when you go to put that third trade in. So that's why you want to keep it above 300 so that when it's time to put that third trade in, you have room to put that third trade in. Okay. So that's what I mean by that. Okay. And I'm going to close out of all of these. MT5 allows you to do a bulk close all the positions at once. So everybody, and I know that I did this for the beginners asking the question, Howard asks for beginners leverage and margin. I hope I was able to explain that well enough. Did I do the job, Howard? Okay. Okay. Any other
Excellent,
questions?
excellent.
Any other questions?
I have another question.
Yes.
I know you do it in a, you say it's gonna be in a trend. How am I able to see the trend from the structure with the trade setup from with the trade setups, or how is it, how am I able to see the trend
Okay. So do you mean with the indicator or
with the
just
market
how do I
structure?
know the market structure of a trend? Okay.
Mhm.
So you hear me talking about, and I'm going to go to I'm gonna go here. So I'm gonna go to trading view and I'm gonna take off everything so you don't have to worry about seeing anything, right? So, and I'm gonna go to a higher time frame for now. I'll go to the 4 hour, right? And oh, they got news coming up. Ooh, okay. So one of the things I like to tell you, you know, we go through the analysis. I usually start at the weekly or the daily and we go down. But the 4 hour, between the 1 hour and the 4 hour are good for people that just do intraday trading. So you can go there to look at the trend. One of the things that I tell people to do is zoom it all the way in, right? Like, you know, you use your scroll on your mouse and zoom it in and you can kind of see what do I see? Is it going up? Is it going down? Kind of what am I seeing on the screen? And looking on the screen, it looks like it's going up. So that's, of course, my first view of it from looking, you know, top down view, looking at it. It's like, okay, I know it's going up, right? But then as you begin to scroll it in and get to see the detail of each of the candles, you can kind of say, well, yeah, it was going up for the most part, but now it don't look like it's going up because we can see this kind of looks like it's going down. And then, but right here, it kind of looks like it's going up. But right now, oh, look at that drop. It's like, what is it doing? How do I know? What is it doing? Well, one of the things I want to say is if you look at it and it's, you know, you can see some of the detail of the candles, right? That's still a good enough view for you to say, okay, what am I seeing just in that picture frame? And for me, like for instance here, it is ranging. I would say this is ranging because you have 2 points that it's between, right? That it's not really making higher highs or higher lows. And we know that, or one of the indications of a trend is that you need to be making higher highs and higher lows if you're in a uptrend, and you need to be making lower lower highs and lower lows if you're in a downtrend. And the easiest way to remember that, because the lower high, higher high always confused me in the beginning. But how I remembered it was, if the L is in front of the high or low, that means downtrend. So lower high, lower low, 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 low. See, the L's are in the front. If it's a H in the front, higher high, higher low, then that means I'm going up. It's higher, right? So I looked at which is it a L or a H in the front of the word high low. That's how I know the trend. So, because that can be kind of confusing. So what you're looking at is these points, right? These points of where they're making highs. You know, these are what we call highs and lows. Now, on my trend, on my tool, I'm going to remove everything off my tool so it's not confusing. But on my tool, the Quantum FX Pro, we have pivot highs and lows. So if you're unsure of what's considered a high or low, we have a tool here that'll help you. So you can see the H's and the L's. And you want to say, hey, is this high? You want to compare it to the high going towards the right. You want to compare it to the high to the left. Is this high higher or lower than this previous high? Oh, well, this is lower, so that makes a lower high, right? Is this low higher or lower than the previous low? It's lower, so you have a lower high and a lower low. That's starting to indicate that it may be a downtrend. Now you want to look at it, go to the next high and the next low, and you want to keep going until you see what I call a violation. So is this high higher than or lower than this previous? It's lower. Aha. Is this low higher or lower? It's lower. So I have 4 points. I have a high, a low, a high, a low. A high. After this 4 point, I have been validated to be in a downtrend. So it takes 4 points to determine a trend, right? Now, what's this little low here? Oh man, this just violated my trend because it's now a higher low. Because is this low higher or lower? Okay, slight violation. Let's see what happens next. Okay, I got a high. Is this high lower? It is. You keep going down. Oh, okay, this one is lower than this one and this one. So it X's this one out, right? So now you know I'm still going down. Now let's look over here where we have a violation. We look at this high. Is this high higher or lower? This one is higher. I have a violation. This is my first violation. Let's go to the low. Is this low higher or lower? Ah, I have another violation. So now I might be exiting out of my downtrend and going into an uptrend. But now let's look at this high. Oh man, it's lower than this one, right? Is it? Yes, it is, right? So you're like, okay, this one is actually, I'm sorry, this is higher. It's higher than this one, right? So I'm still in my trend. I don't really have a low till we get here. This one is still high, so I'm still good. But what happens when we get here? We have a high that's lower than this one. So now I have a violation of the trend. And that's how you determine your trend going back and forth. But as a whole, looking at this picture, you don't have one direction or the other that it's going in. If you were, looking at it, the chart like this, you could say, oh, everything is going up. I'm in an uptrend. But because you're kind of going between these two lines that I drew, it's what we call a range, right? It's what we call a range. It's saying prices ranging between these 2 points. So the market goes in 3 directions. It goes up, down, or ranges. And so that is how you're able to determine if it's trending. You want to go by the points. You want to look at these highs and lows if it's to determine if it's going in one direction or the other. And you can tell when it's stopped doing that by when it possibly violates. There's some other tools that we can use, such as a fib and things like that, to determine a pullback versus a retracement. Those are all more technical terms that that, you know, you'll learn as you go along. But most importantly, to know that if you're making higher highs and higher lows, you are in an uptrend. High stands for up, you know, think of it like I'm going higher, I'm going up. If you're making lower lows and lower highs, you're going down, you're going lower. So you're making lower lows, lower highs, you're going down. That's a downtrend. And so, and if you're kind of, you know, in between both, you're not really going down, you're not really going up, you're ranging. And so those are the three ways, or sideways, people call it sideways, but that's the three different ways that that price moves, and that's how you determine the trend. Hopefully I answered the question well. Oh,
Thank you. Excellent answer. Yes, I'm clear now.
okay, thank you. Well, it is 9 o'clock, and this is an hour class. I don't know, does anybody have any other questions that they'd like answered, or they think that the beginners may need answered? I think the trend is like the really, if you can get trending down packed, like the way the market moves, you know, that's basic market structure. If you can get knowing that when, you know, if it's trending, you know, or if it's ranging, that's the first part to being successful. Because again, you know, I know it's kind of cliche. People say the trend is your friend. You know, I say the trend is your friend until it's not. But the trend is your friend. You know, why would you go against the major, you know, and you know, I know we think outside the box, but if everybody's kind of going up, you might want to go up to make money. If everybody's making money going down, you kind of want to go down. And when it's sideways, you don't want to necessarily be in the market unless you know what you're doing. So, because you can't make money in the sideways market. You just have to, that's when you scout. But again, just wanting you to know that this can be very, very profitable. It's just, you know, discipline is number one. And yeah, knowing the trend is definitely crucial. So, but we're about to have some GBP news, and I want to check it out. I want to try out some stuff. These little symbols on the bottom you can add these to your chart to let you know when there's news happening on a particular pair. So on this one, when you see the GBP flag, that lets you know there's a red, you see this red right here that tells you it's a red folder and that it's the inflation rate, and it's happening at 2300 hours. And if you're set on your time zone, it'll tell you, you know, when that's your time zone. So for you, I'm on the hourly chart, so that's later on tonight at 11 p.m. I'll be asleep, but my time. But yeah, there's GBP news. So if you guys wanted to try out the daily bread with GBP, a GBP pair, that would be a good time to try it. Just so you know, you can put these on your chart so that you know when news is happening. And you do that by simply right-clicking, going to settings, and going to economic events and checking that box, and it'll tell you when there's economic events based on that pair. So because this is the base currency is GBP, Great Britain, and the quote currency is USD, it's giving you the news for both GBP and USD, because both of those affect, because it's like the Great Britain pound and the US dollar. So any news in the US and any news in Great Britain affects this pair. So it's giving you information when there's events for that pair. Okay. So if there's not any other questions, comments, or concerns, I'm going to end it for the day, and I'll see you guys tonight. I'm going to work on getting all these videos uploaded because I know there's been some ones that somehow are not being uploaded. So I'll get those. I'm going to start working on those to make sure those are there. And I'll put a notification in the hub when I've confirmed that they're there. I'm gonna go back and check it this time to make sure. So if nobody has any questions, then I'm gonna say I see you guys later. See you guys at community trading tonight. All right. You guys have a great day.
Thank
blessed.
you.
Thank you,
Alrighty.
thank you, thank you for
You're
answering my
welcome. Bye-bye.
questions. All right,
Alrighty, bye-bye.
bye.